Hi dear students, welcome to Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik. So student, in our last lecture, we studied the air pollution, the presence of substances either by human activities or by natural sources which affect on man as well as the environment is known as air pollution. In fact, air pollution is a multi-step process starting from the sources, then their transportation, then their concentration, then their effect, then their sinks, and finally the method or the way to solve the problem. Depending upon the various types of sources, we choose a 5 important primary pollutants. Our first primary pollutant was the carbon monoxide. Second one was the nitrogen oxides. Third one is the sulfur oxides. Fourth is the hydrocarbon. And last one is the particulate matter. In our previous lectures, we discussed the 2 important primary pollutants, carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides. Right now in the present chapter, we will deal with the third important primary pollutant, sulfur oxides. So, the sulfur oxides represented as SOX, sulfur oxide. We will discuss the sulfur oxide as the sources, then the sink, then the reaction involving sulfur oxides, then finally control measures, and then the effect of sulfur oxides on the animals as well as a plant. So we will start with the sources. First thing, sources. The major source of sulfur oxide is the volcanic eruption. The first source. The major source of SOX is volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption. Second one is the biodegradation of sulfur containing organic matter releases SOX in the atmosphere. Second thing, the biodegradation of sulfur containing organic matter. Now the third one, burning of fossil fuels. For example, in a thermal power station, in an automobiles, in an industries, also releases a sulfur oxide in the atmosphere. Burning of fossil fuels in thermal power stations, second one in automobiles, and in industries. Etc. The fourth one is the metallurgical processes. In metallurgical processes, the roasting process is there, calcination process is there, and during these processes, the inorganic material is heated at high temperature, and during this process a sulfur oxide is emitted in the atmosphere. So the fourth one is metallurgical. Processes. The most important thing related to the pollution by sulfur oxide is that about 66% SOx is released from natural sources and only 33% SOx is released from the man-made sources. About 66% SOx from natural source and rest of the 33 from man-made activities. In fact, SOx includes sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. The sulfur dioxide is converted into the corresponding sulfur trioxide in the atmosphere due to certain chemical, or you can say the photochemical processes. So, in the atmosphere, SO2 is converted into sulfur trioxide. The intensity of conversion or the amount of SO2 can be converted into the SO3 is depends upon many more factors, such as which factor will affect over the conversion of SO2 to SO3. For example, humidity, presence of a light means lightening, presence of catalyst, particulate matters, etc etc. अब हम देखेंगे sink. What are the sink of sulfur oxides? What will be the next product of sulfur oxide in the atmosphere? How they are converted into the next pollutants, or you can say how they comes down on the earth's surface. The first and very major sink of sulfur oxide is the ocean. It is a ready sink of sulfur oxide. So the first one, ocean is the ready sink of SOx. In fact, 4 into 10 raised to 7 tons SOx is absorbed by ocean per year. About maximum sulfur oxides, that is the sulfur dioxide present in the atmosphere, is absorbed by ocean. 4 into 10 raised to 7 tons SO2 is absorbed per year. It was the first case. Secondly, the sink or the absorption either by ocean or by conversion into the sulfur trioxide depends upon the number of factors. So, the moisture and catalyst. convert SO2 to H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Photochemical reaction in the atmosphere will convert the sulfur dioxide into the corresponding H2SO4. This H2SO4 acts as a secondary pollutant now. Obviously, it is obtained from the primary pollutants, so we call it as a secondary pollutant. The H2SO4 is then converted into the calcium sulfate from the calcium carbonate. It means that calcium carbonate plus H2SO4, it gives a corresponding CaSO4 plus H2O. Calcium sulfate plus H2O plus CO2 will be released in this process. So in this way, the SO2 is converted into the H2SO4. H2SO4 is then trapped by calcium carbonate, and we will get the formation of corresponding calcium sulfate. Now it was an account about the sink of a SOX. So you just note all this data so that we will proceed to our next discussion related to the chemical reaction involving SOXs. Now the chemical process involving formation of SOXs. Chemical process involving formation of SOX. Now, the atmospheric reaction involving SOX are very important. The reaction does not depend upon only the concentration of SOX, but it depends upon other factors also, such as presence of humidity, then inversion temperature, then presence of ultraviolet light, lightning we called it as, and even it depends upon presence of polluting and non-polluting gases in the atmosphere. In addition to that, the reaction of SOXs depends upon certain methodological factors also. The methodological factor means what? The presence of third body, presence of soot, dust, mist, presence of oxides such as iron oxide, manganese oxide, sodium sulfide, etc., etc. in the atmosphere. In the presence of a third body, sulfur dioxide gets converted into the corresponding sulfur trioxide, SO3 plus M. Now in this case, M is nothing but the particulate matter, or we call it as a soot or dust, and we will get the formation of corresponding SO3. Even in presence of light in the atmosphere, sulfur dioxide can be directly converted into the corresponding sulfur trioxide in presence of particulate matter. in presence of particulate matter. It was the reaction in presence of soot or dust. This is the reaction in presence of H nu and particulate matter. Even this sulfur dioxide can interact with ozone in presence of ultraviolet light and in presence of a particulate matter which catalyzes this reaction. So SO2 can react with O3 in presence of H nu. Again particulate matter is there. We will get the formation of corresponding SO3 with the release of O2. In an atmosphere, SO2 combines with water molecule and gives corresponding sulfurous acid. The reaction is a very simple one. SO2 reacts with H2O. It gives H2SO3. We call it as a sulfurous acid. This sulfurous acid, in presence of certain metal oxides such as iron second or manganese second, the sulfurous acid in presence of Fe second or Mn second or sodium sulfite gets converted into the corresponding stable component. The reaction is in this way. H2SO3 you can say reacts with oxygen. Oxidation will be there in presence of Fe second or Mn second, gives a corresponding H2SO4. Formation of H2SO4. In fact, in presence of soot, mist or dust, commonly we call it as a particulate matter, the sulfur dioxide combines with water in presence of oxygen, gives a corresponding H2SO4. The overall reaction will be in this way. SO2 plus H2O half O2 in presence of soot, dust, mist. It gives a corresponding H2SO4 again. Now it was an account about the reaction involving sulfur oxides. Now we will discuss about the methods to control the SOx. You just note all this data so that we will proceed to our next discussion. Now the control of SOx pollution. Very first thing, SOx can be controlled by using low sulfur containing fuels. First one, use of low sulfur containing fuel. For example, natural gas, best example. Secondly, we can do the desulfurization of a fuel. We can remove the sulfur from the fuel. So desulfurization of a fuel. Actually, the fossil fuel, or particularly you can say the coal, contains sulfur in the form of iron pyrite. Coal contain 80% sulfur in the form of iron pyrite, FeS2. Maximum sulfur can be removed by various separation method, which can be removed by various separation techniques. In fact, the removal of organically bounded sulfur is difficult. Removal of organically bounded sulfur is difficult. For example, those present in organic molecules, because it requires to convert the organic compound containing sulfur into their liquid or gaseous state. Since it requires to convert the fuel into liquid or gas. Our next provision to control the SOx is to use a substitute fuel. Use of substitute fuel. We can use an alternative fuel. We have a huge source of solar energy, so you can use a solar energy. Secondly, we can use a hydrogen fuel. We can use a nuclear fuel also. Now it was just the different ways to control the SOx pollution. In addition to that, the SOx pollution can be removed or can be controlled by removing SOx from the fuel gas. So the removal of SOx from the fuel gas. You just note all these things so that we will proceed for our further discussion. Now the removal of SOx from fuel gas. Two methods are there. The first method is the combustion of fossil fuels, which releases a fuel gas, is scrubbed in alkaline solution or the solution of certain oxides or sulfides, you can say. the gas is scrubbed in alkaline solution or suspension of lime. Magnesium oxide, then sodium sulfite, etc. The calcium carbonate reacts with the sulfur dioxide. It gives CaSO3 along with the CO2. It was the first case. It can react with the calcium oxide also. SO2 again gives the calcium sulfate. The impure slag that is the calcium sulfate then reacts with O2 plus H2O. It gives the corresponding twice of CaSO4 and H2O. It can be dumped. Instead of that, we can use a sodium sulfite also. The Na2SO3, it reacts with H2O in presence of SO2. It gives a 2 moles of NaHSO3, sodium bisulfite. This is your sodium sulfite. This is your sodium bisulfite. It was the first method. Now the method second. In method second, the SO2 is allowed to interact with the corresponding citrate ion H2O plus SO2. It gives a HSO3 minus plus H plus. This HSO3 minus interact with citrate ion. It gives a corresponding HSO3 H2CIT minus minus, such a type of a complex. We call it as a bisulfite dihydrogen citrate complex. Bisulfite dihydrogen citrate complex. In this way, we can control the SO excess. Our next part is the effect of SOx pollution. Effect of SOx pollution. The exposure of SOx causes the irritation of eyes, irritation of a skin, and even the exposure for a long period of time can cause a breathlessness and the severe problem related to the respiratory tract. In case of plants, the vein area of a plant becomes a green, Secondly, the old leaf becomes a yellow. In fact, this effect is known as a chlorosis. Next one is early aging. The plant look like aged in the very early age, and the secondary pollutant of SOx pollution, that is the H2SO4, which comes in the form of acid rain, causes a spotting on the leaf. So student, it was an account about the next primary pollutant, sulfur oxide. So we will stop here. I hope you enjoyed the session. In our next lecture, we will discuss about the hydrocarbons.